I can't stand Harley Quinn. This is going to be the hardest video I'm ever going to make, but I'm this close to drinking my aftershave as it is. Harley Quinn left her life as a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum when she met and fell in love with, of all people, the Joker. And they began a whirlwind romance that traveled through the streets of Gotham doing the typical romantic things, night on the town, wining and dining, movie night, mass genocide, multiple counts of murder, terrorist acts that go to the range of genocide, gassing of innocent civilians, typical love stuff. Now, for those of you who think that because she was in an abusive and manipulative relationship, that makes her sympathetic, no, it does not. She knew darn well who the Joker was. She knew what he was capable of. She knew there was no changing him, and she still signed up willingly. And as a psychiatrist who has to deal with multiple mentally ill people or mentally deranged people, she should know better than to be manipulated that easily. But even I can admit we've all done stupid things for love, including myself, but I've never killed anyone. Never. Not once. But even so, she did eventually leave him, but what she did afterwards is what baffles everyone. Instead of, leaving Joker and trying to pick up the pieces of the life she left behind, or maybe try to make something new, something more morally acceptable, she continued murder and villainy, the same as Joker, for no real good reason. Like, the only reason I've heard is because nobody cared about her. Because she was turned into a monster and nobody tried to help her. Because she is a victim, she chooses to reflect that back. That is an awful excuse. I could talk about it myself, but here's a quote from Superman that fits better.
Better believe it. My whole life, everybody's been stepping on me. Now I'm the one with all the power.
And what have you done with all this power, Rudy? Gave the world the raw deal they gave you? Feel like you've gotten even yet?
Yeah, being a victim isn't a good excuse for being morally repugnant. Plenty of people go through trauma and they don't do what she does. In fact, some of them are even motivated to do the right thing afterward. That's the whole reason why battered women's shelters and sexual abuse centers exist. So that nobody really has to go through what they went through, or at least not go through it alone. That's what should have happened to Harley Quinn. She should have used what she learned from Joker to either fight people like him, or to use the information she knows to aid the police force. No, she remains a murderous psychopath, yet is still being held up as a role model for little girls, and that she should be sympathetic and we should relate to her. Don't believe me? Poison Ivy from the Harley Quinn show. You're a bad guy, but a good person. Objection. Good people don't commit genocide just because. Good people don't hurt other people. Good people try to help people. Good people try to prevent the same tragedies that struck them from happening to others. Good people wish good things for other people. She can't be a role model and be morally bankrupt at the same time. That's the point. And she can't be treated like a hero when she's clearly not one. She's a villain. She acts like a villain. And if they were honest about this, that'd be fine. But we're supposed to believe she's a good person, even though every bit of evidence supports the contrary. And it wouldn't matter if she was going through a redemption arc, where she tries to be a better person, or even tries to become a hero. Who knows? I don't care. But she has to show that she admits what she does, what she did, is wrong. She has to show remorse and sympathy for me to consider her sympathetic. We all have done terrible things and looked back on them and felt terrible. We all have felt guilt, but she shows no guilt. There's a quote from a song that I think fits perfectly. It goes a bit like this. I stood in that street before it was paved. I learned to shoot or be shot before I could shave. And I did it all for the money and the fame and noble was nothing but feeling no shame, and nothing was sacred but staying alive, and all that I learned from a Colt 45 was to curse the smell of the black powder smoke and the stand at the street at the turn of a joke. Why does that fit? Because at this moment, Harley Quinn believes that there's no such thing as being noble, or at least that she believes being noble just means not feeling shame for anything. But you should feel shame. Shame exists so that you realize the faults in your own character and learn to be better. And noble at the same time means being morally correct, means doing the right thing, or at least trying to. Nothing is sacred but staying alive? No. No, I would gladly give my life to defend the life of someone innocent, or better yet, to defend the freedom of millions. I would gladly do the morally correct thing and defend the rights of others. That's what is sacred to me. Freedom and the lives of the innocent. As well as my faith, but we don't need to talk about that. And with everything I've said, I've never said that I wanted to kill Harley Quinn, or I wanted to see her die. No, if anything, these characters make me want to give them a verbal slapping around. I even have a little discussion in my mind from time to time on how I would have one character tell off Harley Quinn. Wouldn't be hard. I could do it right now. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Alright, sit down, little clown girl. You're about to get it. You are the worst kind of person. You believe that going around and doing the same kind of evil that Joker did will make you better than him? Newsflash, little girl. Evil does not care who commits the evil, or even if they are more successful at it than he. Evil only cares that evil is being done. And you use your victimhood status as an excuse to create more victims. And never once did it cross that feeble little mind of yours to make up for the wrongs you've done, to become better, to spend the remainder of your life defending those you put in harm's way, to make up for the wrongs of your past. Instead, you continue this life of murder and petty indulgence. And your reason? I'm not at fault. The world is to blame. Society is to blame. They are the morally corrupt ones, not I. Wrong. Completely wrong. You knew better. You always knew better. But you look for every excuse to not do better. You make me sick. You have no sympathy from me, nor do you deserve any from anyone else. That was more fun to say than it should have been. And for those of you who think I don't like Harley Quinn because she's a woman, or more than likely you're going to say, you don't like her because she doesn't fit the heteronormative ideals of morality, or something stupid like that. No, there are plenty of female characters I think are morally correct and should be considered role model for girls. Harley Quinn, she isn't one of them. Okay, I think I've said enough on this subject. I'm starting to ramble. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy and everything. And I hope this new year is doing good. I mean, I know I'm saying new year like New Year's wasn't months ago, but you know, I just haven't checked in a while, and I want to make sure all my friends are doing okay. I'll try to make more videos once I find something to talk about. This took me a few days, so forgive me. I'll try to do something more, but until then, until next time, goodbye.